Hello again, Dave Hill coming at you live. Thanks for tuning into the lessons. I know you've been working hard, I know you've been practicing hard, and I'm sure you're getting somewhere by now, so keep up the good work. We've covered a lot of ground, and we've talked a lot about patterns of scales, we've talked about some chords, we've talked a lot about progressions, we've talked about riffs, we just did that, and what I'm going to talk to you today is something a technique that you've probably seen me employ, but I never really discussed, but I think it's worthy of discussion today, and it's going to make everything that you play sound better, especially when you're playing expressive kinds of music, let's say, that involve bends, expressive types of music that involves bends, like rock and blues. Okay? I want you to hear me play something, and I want you to tell me which one sounds better. Okay? Just going to play a simple little melody. Okay, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to finger it a little differently, but it'll be the same melody. Okay, here's the same melody played like this. Okay, check it out again. Okay. So what is it about the difference between the two, that one has a more emotional aspect to it and another one sounds a little bit boring and a little dry? I think you're right when you're saying vibrato, okay? Vibrato and bending. Okay, so I played the same notes, the same melody here, but I played it like this. And what I'm doing to create that effect is just slightly bringing down the pitch of the note and bringing it back up in a repetitive but very consistent pitch release and bend back, okay? And it has a lot to do with your hand strength and how strong and controlled your bending is, okay? If you don't bend with the right technique, then it's hard to control the bend, right? I hear a lot of younger players that use vibrato but don't have any idea how to control it, so it's really out of tune and not very focused, right? They might bend and do a vibrato, and they're all over the place with the pitch on the vibrato, but we don't want to do that because that doesn't sound like we really meant it. It just sounds like we're bad benders, okay? So listen to the difference. Right? Eventually the note stops ringing, but you can bring in the vibrato right away. Or you can wait to bring it in. Right? But you can see what I'm using here to help me out. I've got my thumb pretty much wrapped around the neck here because I need to have a lot of leverage to do this, right? There's no way I can play a very good vibrato when I go like this with my thumb on the back of the neck. It just doesn't work. It's too hard to control, right? So I have to bend my thumb around the neck, and then I can really get a good grip on it, and then I can control it. And certain fingers have a little bit more natural strength. There's certain combinations that will allow you to do a better vibrato, right? Basically, the third and the fourth give you the most strength because your first and second fingers are behind them. So check it out. If I go here with my third, and once again, I'm kind of playing in the pentatonic position right here. But if I do my third finger here, right? See how much my thumb is hanging over now? I'm going to even do it with the fourth. Right? Let's try a second finger bend in here just to compare the difference, see if we can do vibrato. You don't really bend too much with your second finger, but let's try to see if I can do one here. I'm basically bending this note up right here. Right? The less fingers that I have, you can hear that I was a little out of pitch there. the harder it is to control. So generally you use your third and fourth fingers for bending to get the vibrato. Okay, now that doesn't mean that you can't put vibrato on notes that aren't bent, right? That aren't bent. So I could just put a vibrato on one note. I'm not bending it, I'm just bringing my finger, just rotating it a little bit here over the fret. So every note, whether it's bent or not, can be utilized with vibrato. Some guys like to really make a big deal about it, and they have other types of techniques. Some guys like to do this. Right? They kind of bring their pitch back and forth like this. I don't particularly use that method. There's nothing wrong with that. I just never found that to be comfortable, and I use more of a string bend rather than a rapid fire wrist shake. Okay? So there's more than one way to do it. That's another way to do it. So it's basically going to involve a C minor key here. Okay? There might be a new chord that we haven't played before, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Okay, I'm giving you a new chord today. Okay? This is going to be at the 5th fret right here. This is a minor 7, right? Like this. I might have shown you that chord before. We're going to go into some more detail on chords in other lessons, but it's basically a minor 7 chord with a flat 5. So that chord is what we want right here. Okay? And the straight minor 7 chords will have two different forms. We'll have this form right here. And we'll also have a form where we use pattern. Use a bar right here. And that'll be root here. And that's F minor 7. And that would be like, let's say, root on the 8th fret. So we've got and then we could do a G7 right here. I know I've shown you this one before, but I'm going to show it to you again just so it's convenient. Bar here. And this would be like third right there. Okay. So that's going to be the progression we're going to use, and we're going to play around with our pentatonic right here. Okay. And I'm going to show you some vibrato and how it's going to dress up our progression. Okay.